Once upon a time, in a small village in Africa, there lived two friends named Adanna and Amuche. While growing up, Adanna and Amuche were best of friends. During their school days, they would eat together, come to school together, even leave school together. The two friends practically do everything together. Their friendship was the envy of the whole students, for many wished they had such friendship like that of Adanna and Amuche. When Adanna and Amuche were in their final class in secondary school, they made a solemn vow to each other to never leave each other, plan or do anything that will bring harm or cause harm to each other. Amushe told Adanna that they should take a blood oath concerning their vow to each other, that any one of them that will think evil or try to harm the other will face a terrible consequence by Ajana, the god of soil. Though Adanna refused at first to take the blood oath, but she was later made to agree by her friend who told her that her refusal to accept and take the blood oath is as a result of her not loving her as much as she do for her. And so Adana agreed to the oath, just to prove to her friend that she cares about her. Months after their exam, their results and posting into the university came out. To the joy of the two friends, both of them got admission into the same university. Though they were granted admission into the same university, but they were not in the same department and same hostel. But that did not stop their joy. 2 years into the university, Amushe became acquainted to a male coursemate named Jehu. Jehu was the most brilliant student in Amushe's department. And not only was he brilliant, Jehu was way too handsome, and many girls in the campus wishes to have him as their lover. Jehu knew the effect he has on the female students, but he never uses his handsomeness as an excuse to live a playboy's lifestyle. He makes sure to maintain a platonic relationship with the female students. Among the female students crushing on Jehu, Amushe happened to be among them. She always finds herself fantasizing about Jehu. She began to secretly love Jehu, but was not bold enough to tell him how she felt about him, even when Jehu noticed that she was one of the most intelligent ones in the class and decided to make her his friend. She still could not tell him her feelings, and so she has to love him in secret, hoping that one day Jeku will decide to go beyond just friendship and ask her to be his girlfriend. But that day seemed to never come, and she never gave up hope. All this while Amushe was crushing on Jeku, she will always share with her friend Adanna about her crush on one of her classmates anytime they meet each other. Adanna will always pray that her friend's crush will notice her friend so she can truly be happy again. One day, Adanna went to the university canteen to eat. As she was about to pay for her food, a male student offered to pay for her food. At first, Adanna refused, insisting that she can pay for her own food. But she later had to accept his offer when she saw that the guy was so persistent in paying for her. After they both finished eating their food, the young man introduced himself to Adanna as Jeku. He asked her to be his girlfriend, and Adanna accepted without even knowing that this was the same guy her friend always talks about. So it happened that one day Adanna asked Amushe to escort her to her boyfriend's house, for she wanted to use the opportunity to introduce her boyfriend to her best friend. On getting there, Amuche realized that Adanna's boyfriend was no other person but her coursemate and crush, Jeku. On realizing this, Amuche was deeply hurt and saddened. She did not understand why Jeku would choose to be just an ordinary friend with her, but decided to make Adanna his girlfriend. She was so angry with Adanna and Jeku, for she felt they both betrayed her. But she chose to keep all these emotions to herself, and slowly all her anger turned into hatred. Few years later, after graduating from university, Jeku proposed to Adanna, and she accepted his proposal. Adanna immediately told Amuche about her engagement to Jeku, and Amuche pretended to be happy for her friend, while deep within her she bore resentment for the two lovers. After Adanna's wedding, and she moved in with her husband Jehu, the couples found it difficult to have a child. They tried many drugs and visited many hospitals, but Adanna was still not able to conceive. Due to her inability to conceive a child, Adanna became sad, and she began to lose weight due to excess thinking. Adanna's condition began to give her sleepless nights, and this became a huge concern for her husband, who constantly reminded her that with or without children, his love for her will never change. Heaven decided to smile on Adanna and Jehu, her husband. Adanna realized that she was pregnant. Their joy knew no bound, and Adanna immediately called her friend Amuche to share the good news with her. Few months later, Adanna gave birth to a baby boy, and Jeku decided to celebrate with friends. They invited their families and friends to come and rejoice with them. After the celebration and everyone has left, very late at night, the baby became sick, and before they could rush him to the hospital, he died. Adanna cried bitterly for the death of her baby, and she refused to be consoled. Her friend Amuche also came to spend time with her. Months later, Adanna became pregnant again, and this time she gave birth to a baby girl. She told her friend Amuche of the good news. Amuche visited Adanna with many baby gifts and then congratulated her for the new baby. But that same night, after Amuche left, the baby developed fever and died just like the first. You can imagine the pain Adanna and Jehu felt. However, it continued that each time Adanna gives birth, the child dies soon after. Adanna was so devastated and didn't know what to do. One day, Adanna went to the market to buy things. While she was there, she met an old woman who asked her what was wrong, for she noticed that her spirit is troubled. Adanna told the old woman about her troubles, and the old woman said, I know what your problem is. You must take this necklace, wear it around your baby's neck when next you put to birth. Then sit back and watch what will happen. When Adanna got home from the market, she narrated everything that happened between her and the old woman to her husband. Months later, Adanna gave birth to another baby boy, and just like in the past, people came to congratulate the couples. Amusha was among the people that came to rejoice with Adanna and her husband. Amusha requested to hold the newborn baby for a while, but few minutes into holding the baby, She started screaming in a loud voice. Adanna immediately took her baby away from her friend, for she was surprised and couldn't understand her friend's strange behavior. At the presence of everybody, Amuche confessed of going to a native doctor who helped her in tying Adanna's womb. I tied her womb, thinking that Jeku will divorce her, confessed Amuche. But when he proved that barrenness cannot change his love for Adanna, I went back to the native doctor and asked him to untie her womb so that whenever she gives birth, the baby will die. For by doing this, Jeku will also feel pained too. So each time Adanna gives birth, I will visit the native doctor who will prepare a sham for me. And when I carry the baby close to my heart, where I always hid the charm, the baby will feel sick and later die. I know you will be wondering why I did all this. Adanna, I hated you from the day I found out that Jeku chose you over me. And I also hated Jeku for he never see me as a woman, despite all I did to make him notice me. My anger and hatred for Adanna and Jeku were so deep that I gave up my womb and the chances of ever getting married in order to make you two suffer. After her confession, Amushe ran out of the house while removing her clothes. Everyone present were all surprised and could not believe that Amuche could do this to her best friend just because of a man. After the incident with Amushe, Adanna was glad that she met the old woman in the market that fateful day. For if not for the necklace from the old woman, her baby would be dead by now, and she still would not have found out that her own best friend, whom she loved and trusted so much, was capable of doing such evil to her. The moral lesson of this story is that a peaceful mind gives life to the body, but jealousy, hatred, and malice rots the bone. Jealousy and malice are deadly disease that when allowed will grow to destroy the very person harboring it. Thank you for watching my story. I would like you to leave a comment below on what you think about Adanna and Amushe. Do you think Amushe was right to be angry at Adanna and Jehu?